I have here, out of its box and broken down for the point of keeping it on camera, the Stag Arms Model 3 AR. Now, if you're like me, you think an AR is an AR is an AR. And when you look at prices ranging from $450 all the way up to $3,000, obviously the $3,000 we see why they cost so much, but you start to wonder, what's the difference between a 400 and an 800? Why should you spend a little bit extra? The Stag falls towards the 8 to 900, at least this Model 3 does, and I want to go over the things that I immediately noticed right off the bat that make this a little more than an inexpensive gun. Starting with the lower, we have a Stag Arms stamped M4 style buttstock. Basic, classic, gives me some flashbacks from the Army. We have a either side sling attachment point here at the rear, which is nice. The pistol grip, I immediately noticed that the checkering is more pronounced, as are the cuts, than in your standard. Sure, this is a piece that a lot of people quickly swap out for something custom, whatever their latest thing is, or one of those M words. But as a factory classic style grip, this has a bit more adhesion to it, which I appreciate. Now the trigger group is your standard military style, as are all the lower parts. The fit between the upper and lower, which I'll show you later, is so tight that I ended up having to pound out the front takedown pin to separate them. Very nicely done. Let's take a look at the upper. Standard charging handle, which once again, that's one of those parts that people like to swap out, so why worry about getting something fancy from the beginning when it's probably not going to be exactly what you want. These are the Barbie dolls for men, or adults anyways. Charging handle standard. The dust cover, of course, standard. I appreciate that it has a forward assist. That's something that in the military I came to appreciate and use quite often. Those who say ARs don't need them obviously haven't shot an AR enough. This grip, foregrip, I really appreciate. The hand guard. It's Diamond Head USA, all aluminum. No heat shield included. However, there's so much air floating around the barrel in there that I don't think a heat shield's really going to be an issue. But it is very comfortable to handle. Also has threaded ports for adding on sections of rail if you need it. But if you're like me and you prefer a more classic and simple shape, this is very similar to the A1 triangular, just modernized a bit. A bit of criticism I do have about this, though, is that step there. Slight difference in height. You've got a low-profile gas block that is threaded on, so obviously it's something you can swap out if you wanted to. The issue with that I have is the height difference. We have 3 different heights. So basically you've got the upper, you've got the handguard, and you've got the gas block. Which means if you want to run iron sights all the way back here and on the gas block, you're going to need some type of riser. Otherwise you're going to run out of adjustment on that front sight. The handguards, though, do lock in nicely, and I appreciate that they are your classic disassembly method. No crazy special tools required. See, we've got an M4 profile barrel here, which is a 1 in 9 twist. I don't know if it's going to come through on the camera. It's very faintly stamped. 1 in 9 ought to work well for most of the common bullet weights. And once again, they decided to save you a little money and not waste time on some type of wild aftermarket flash hider or brake. They went with the classic A2 style semi-bird cage compensator and flash hider. The reason why I think this is wise is another thing that a lot of people like to personalize and find something that they think is cool or is neat, and you end up buying something personal of your choice anyways. So by adding cost both for the company and for the consumer and putting something fancy up here, their chances of pleasing everyone doesn't increase anymore. So it's that. Taking a look at the bolt. If you want to see the chamber, and this is chambered in 5.56. A bit tough for me to get the camera angle in there. Bolt and carrier, which came heavily lubed. Staking on the gas key looks pretty solid to me. Oh, pretty much about GI spec, at least what I would expect. Very nicely, smoothly machined up here. Perhaps a little better than what I saw in the military. But all in all, it is what you'd expect to have work reliably. Nothing too wild or unorthodox, but just some nice tune-ups. And those nice little steps are why I think this rifle is priced above your absolute basic cheap model. So we'll get this out to the range, throw some sights on it, and take some shots. Thanks for watching GBGuns. And if you watched this far, you appreciate our format and what we're doing, or maybe you're waiting to make that really angry comment. Either way, click the big griffin up here to subscribe. The link over here to show you a related video based on what you just watched, or down here is the playlist relevant to this video. Once again, we appreciate your feedback, your comments. Join us on Facebook, Instagram, and we'll see you in the next video.